This is All About Home Construction, and here's your hosts, Terry Cannell-Beck and Randy Blake.
That's right. Good morning, Mr. Randy.
Good morning, Terry, and everybody out there.
That's right. Happy fall, autumn, high country Saturday.
A big Saturday.
That's right, man. I didn't know so many people were coming into town for your VFW dinner tonight, but hey, I'm glad they're here. No, it's a crazy high country weekend. You know, it happens once in a while, and you gotta embrace it either one way or the other. And that is the fact that it's first of all, it's leaf season.
Yes, it is,
and it's a beautiful leaf season. Leaves are really popping this year. I think I'm excited about that part. I think it looks good. And well, here the other part is we have this thing called Appalachian football. Appalachian State football game, homecoming, and there's going to be 30-something thousand people coming into the town
for that alone. I don't have any idea for the Valley Country Fair or the Woolly Worm.
Right, and then both are going on.
Then the leaf lookers.
That's right. I mean, it's just a crazy weekend, and of course, we got to embrace it. Right? You can't do anything but embrace it. And traffic's going to be bad, but we all just get through it. And don't forget, that like here, actually, Randy, here in a little bit on the next couple commercial breaks, we're going to check in with Mark in the morning and, just kind of see updates on the Valley Country Fair too. So we'll check in with those on our commercial break. So yeah, just lots of crazy stuff happening this weekend. But I think it's a good thing. It's fun. And when we look back from a year from now or a year ago from today, as much as we don't like the traffic, it's kind of nice for the income.
Correct.
So,
oh yeah, that it's still hurting everybody.
Yeah.
The hurricanes.
So that's for sure. So anyway, it's just gonna be one of those fun weekends. We've done this before. We'll get through it.
Yep.
So it's good. So I love this time of year though. I woke up the last couple of days or just those cool mornings.
Well, squirrel season opened this last week, and we finally got a frost.
Nice. Yeah. I was actually, it was weird. The frost was very patchy this week. Like, I didn't have it at my house, which is what I expected. But then I get into town, and it was frosty.
Oh, the valley's got it.
Yeah. I was like, oh. So, but yeah. I hadn't had to turn my defrost on to kill the frost yet. So I'm not counting it. How's that?
It's coming. And
I have a tomato plant in a pot on my porch, and it's looking better now than it did all summer long. It's beautiful, bright green, and it's got little tomatoes popping up, little cherry tomatoes on it. And
all right.
I hadn't got but like 2 or 3 all year, and then now it's like full of it. I don't get it.
Yeah, you can bring it inside.
Oh, that's the plan. That's why it's in a pot.
And self-germinate it.
But anyway, I just think that's funny. Here it is, frosting, and my tomato plant's doing the best it's done. So I don't know. It means something. But, it's going to be one of those fun years. We're looking this weekend.
Fun day.
Yeah, well.
Well, I found a woolly worm. I need to send you a picture of it.
Solid black.
Nope. The woolly worm says it's going to be mild.
Well, I saw a solid black one the other day, so.
And, but if you look at the black one, and it's got red rings on the inside, it's not a woolly worm. Mm. But it has the same.
It's not a woolly. It's just a furry worm.
Yep. And it's coming at you. Matter of fact, in the hay field, when I was rolling hay yesterday, and which I was glad I seen it, and it was nearly all red, the woolly worm. It had like one ring, just a light black, and then 3 rings on his tail, and that's it.
Wow. All right.
And I didn't have time to take a picture of it, but I sent Terry the woolly worm in my driveway.
Maybe. Of course, every other sign in the signs are pointing to a fun, cold winter, wet winter, or not wet, but snowy winter.
Yeah, but now we're getting ready to go back into El Nino.
El Nino, not La Nino.
El Nino.
El Nino.
So that means that we're getting ready to be mild in a dry winter.
But that didn't work out so well last year.
Well, we was in La Nino last year. All these Spanish stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm with you though. I don't know what to expect. I mean, the almanac's calling for a nasty winter. The acorns and the squirrels and all the other signs, the persimmons are all shovels and spoons, whatever. And
Yeah.
so I don't know, man. I don't know. There's a lot of beans in people's jars.
There is. I know about that.
So
We can ask Taz about that because she's got little beans, big beans.
you know, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't pay much attention to it this year. I was a little busy, a little preoccupied.
Well, we had fog in July, and that's odd.
It happens. It happens. So I don't know. I say all that to say, buckle up. We'll find out what the woolly worm says today, and then we'll know what the weather's going to do.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Be gentle, woolly worm.
It's also fall. So again, we have the VFW has a dinner tonight.
Yes, they do, between 4 and 7.
All right.
And consists of cheese pizza, pepperoni pizza, and a supreme pizza.
Nice. Good football.
And-
Good
or-
football food. I like it.
Creamy rigatoni pasta and roll and salad for $12.
Yum. Well, there
Cheese
you go.
pizza's $10, so.
Sweet.
And I'm really proud of these guys jumping on the bandwagon. So Colin does a good job.
That's awesome. So
Now we're going to go Viking Italian with Colin, which we call him Poobah. And then Nick's a little short midget Italian because he's Capone. That's his last name. And Dave finally said, well, I guess I'm just a mutt. Then at 7 o'clock, Dave does karaoke.
Nice. That'll be fun.
And I didn't look on the board to see what music it was because, instead of, just giving everybody a book, he's broke it into like one night a country theme,
Okay.
one night a jazz theme, different types
Just
of
to
music.
spice it up. I like it. All right. So there you go. So if you're out and about, go check that out. The cool thing is, Randy, by that time, traffic in Boone won't be so bad. I mean, the game traffic will be at the games.
And
You're going to be able to get to the VFW.
Don't let the body scare you at the sign.
Yeah.
We've had more calls this year than any other year about putting our mannequin at the sign.
Love it.
Last year the Boone Police Department put it on their Facebook.
I remember.
Advertise it for the VFW. This year they called and asked us to take it up. So now we added a hand to it, so it's hanging on the signs.
Love it. So, well, that's cool. But again, go on over there and check that out. So, good stuff. And like I said, we'll check in with the Mark in the morning in the Valley Country Fair here in a little bit too. So we'll fit that in here in the next little bit. But did you get your hay done this year?
Got one field left.
One field left. That's good, right?
It's been a rough year.
It's been an interesting one for sure. So,
Yeah.
well, that's good. And again, just getting ready for the winter. You got all those cows to feed.
Well, they go to other people
I'm
that feed their
just making
cows.
it.
I don't have any cows no more.
I know.
You know what we miss? That's what we miss is the babies.
Miss the baby cows.
Yeah.
Well, there's always time.
They're when they're running through the field and their tails on their back, that they're having a great day.
Yeah. I miss the little chicks, the little birds, the little baby goats and all that stuff. But you know what I don't miss? Feeding them, taking care of them.
Well, that's just part of the life of a farmer.
I know it's part of the life of the farm, but you know what I like? I like sleep in.
That don't happen.
That's good. So, but what about the you live over next to Valley Cruises School, and they're moving in this week.
Yes, they are.
That's always a good thing. Grandkids are ready. Are they excited?
Yeah. Matter of fact, they got to tour it. The kids that the Valley Cruises kids got to tour.
Yeah,
it.
I saw some videos of that. It was really cool.
And I thought it's pretty wild about Valley Cruises giving them 2 days off so that the teachers could move.
Well, that people don't realize it, but they I mean, it's a lot of stuff that goes in a classroom. And
Yes, there is.
For yourself, a new construction house or commercial, whatever, you can't get in until you get that CO.
That's it.
And so, you can't start moving your furniture in until the inspector says yes. And the same goes for the school. And
well, inspector and fire marshal.
well, yeah, in this case, you're talking about the fire marshal as well. I mean, there's just lots of moving pieces. And I can speak for, I got quite a few friends over there teaching. They were a little stressed even with the 2 days of getting stuff in. Getting stuff in a classroom.
2 days is not really enough, was it?
It's not a lot of days. Because again, we're not talking like the beginning of the school year where you walk in and there's already desks sitting in the room. We're talking like everything, desks, chairs,
probably bringing janitors and staff from other schools.
Nothing on the walls. So it was. I know it's inconvenience for some of those families, but it definitely is one of those things that it just couldn't happen otherwise. Otherwise, the kids would show up on Monday or Tuesday rather into an empty room, right? And so,
well, it sure is a pretty looking school.
It is. I'm excited for them. I know they're all glad to be in it, and just no more split up in different places.
I know my grandsons are excited about getting in the new building.
Hey, it's not all the time you get into a new building.
Yeah.
Newest building in the county. You got to embrace that.
Then I guess Hardin Park's the next one, isn't it?
That's the rumors. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. I know that was the original plan. I'm assuming they're sticking with it. I can tell you from being in the building, it's definitely needs some kind of upgrade. So that's what they say.
Well, I can't remember when it was built.
The plaque in it says the 60s, but I don't know if that. I don't know. I have to go back and I walk by the plaque every day, and I never pay attention to it. Something was in the 60s. But anyway, let's take a break, check in with the Valley Country Fair, and then we'll jump right into All About Home Construction again when we get back. Thanks for listening to us. Hey, happy Saturday, Randy.
Happy Saturday to you.
Obviously, by listening to this podcast, you see the value of All About Home Construction. Well, by joining our listener-supporter community, you're not just tuning in, you're standing with us as we are able to support and fuel our passions of the construction industry. As a listener-supporter, you'll enjoy exclusive perks, including hearing your name, or maybe even your business name, on our show. So please go to our Spotify website. The link will be in the show notes, and join. You can join for as little as $1 one-time fee, $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever you think you can afford. Every single penny helps to keep this show going as we can continue to grow and do lots more things. Thanks a lot. And again, more importantly, thank you for listening to this. That's right. All About Home Construction here on WATA. And again, thanks to all of our listeners out there. Happy Saturday. Happy High Country Fall, Autumn, Homecoming Saturday, Valley Country Woolly Worm Saturday, and Leaf Saturday, and VFW Dinner Saturday. Woo! All right, show's over after.
You know what Jerry Clarer said, don't you?
What's that?
Whoa!
I'm telling you, after reading all that, show's over. But anyway, no.
Large sale?
Yeah, all about home construction. Though, let's get into the actual show. So, okay, I want to, fall. We think of like homecomings in this time of year. It's a fun thing. I don't know, something about fall to me just kind of makes me with Thanksgiving and stuff coming up, and I don't know, it just makes me feel like a home, And so with Homecoming Saturday, like, why not? Like, let's jump into some stuff. And long-time listeners know, Randy, that we tend to like some history on this show. And
yes, we do.
So we'll stick with that theme if that's all right. And not just Appalachian building practices, but just some traditional building practices. But I like the Appalachian building practices as well. When we think back of a modern home, and we look at a modern home, so many times, we do some things and we just assume that it's modern thinking, right? And modern design. And don't get me wrong, a modern house is a modern design, but it's playing off of what we've known for centuries.
Yes, it has.
And I think that's, yeah.
We've talked about who made brick in the past, metallurgy, stuff like that. The Kendall House. I've talked about it from time to time over the years.
1840s house, or
we got it down between 1825 and 1850.
Yeah.
But the original part is still on the foundation of the dry stack stone.
Isn't that cool?
On the front wall. Now the chimney and the side walls and the porch is all, they use mortar to stick the rock together.
Well, there's a lot of houses here in the high country that, or in the Appalachian Mountains in general, that just use those fieldstone foundations.
Well, it was readily available.
Yeah.
And every farmer had a mule and a sled or an ox and a sled, and the youngest picked rocks up. I need to send you a picture of that because that'll blow your mind.
That's cool.
Because we never messed with the front of it.
Right.
I just was afraid to. So the house still has the original 2-degree lean to the front.
Oh, wow.
In it. That was probably, we try to do everything the client wants. Mrs. Kendall, when they bought the property, they were tickled to death that they got a house for $35,000 here in the mountain. And I said, Mrs. Kendall, you bought the land and they give you the house.
Yeah.
And I enjoy working on old stuff. Okay. Now, we've talked about balloon framing before. Well, this house was balloon frame.
Right.
Not platform frame.
Which, when you look at history, like I know we've moved to what we call traditional framing, but balloon framing really saved a lot of material, especially in the beginning when they started, figuring this out, engineering.
Yeah, and but to give you an idea with the balloon framing, she ordered doors, all right, and the doors were 3 inches taller than the living room, all right, and she said, "What am I going to do?" I said, "Well, we'll fix it," because it was balloon framing.
Yeah,
we were able to go because of the way the house was constructed on the first floor. We were able to set our jacks and stuff up. Each band had 120 penny nail into a 4x4, and we actually raised the house up from the inside
3 inches, or
raised it about 5. We made the upstairs is level, where the downstairs is not level.
Nice.
And we were able to get those doors in, and then she come in and says, "Well, I really want my ceilings flat, but I want the bellies from the way the house was originally built upstairs." And I'm going, "What?" I said, "I can't guarantee this," and which we did it.
Nice.
But we had to laminate. The original floor joists were 2x6s on about 14 foot wide. So that's what the belly was.
Yep.
So here we are with the house exposed, supporting everything, then coming back in and putting a floor joist system in it that was a little bigger than was. So when you go upstairs, the bellies are still there and the ceilings are flat downstairs.
That's cool. That's cool.
We've had 2 clients do that to us.
Wow, that's cool. Well, that's the thing though. When you get to these old houses, right? Like I mean, going back to that stone foundation, we think of foundations today, and a modern house foundations, you got how much concrete underneath it, but if done right, these stone foundations are still standing.
Yes.
And that's, to me, is kind of hard to think about. And like you said, they're dry stacked. It's not like they're stone foundations that's been mortared and cemented into place.
Yeah, but if I just sent you the picture of that foundation on the inside.
Yep.
And it's a dry stack foundation, and for them to take the time to put those stones that tight together and it to last all these years.
Yeah. And I'm going to put this up on the Facebook page
and
speak. So,
but that was the first time I ever dealt with where they'd taken a log and took a broad axe.
Yeah.
And they'd actually
kind of carved it out, essentially.
Squared the edges off.
Yeah.
And then they took a tuba tin and nailed to the side of it, and the floor joist was resting on the log.
That's so cool.
And
no pressure treated stuff either.
No. That's the first time I ever dealt with chestnut that didn't have any wormholes.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool.
So what we're getting, we've maintained this house since 2000. And so now we're finally getting ready to put clean space in the old section, because the new sections that we build on is the energy efficient side.
Right.
Which we tried to build the whole house energy efficient, but you couldn't with a hole in the foundation like that right there.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I just put that up on Facebook for those all about home construction on Facebook. You want to see that? That's really cool.
And but that was the old technology that's still working.
Yep.
Today.
So I mean, not that we can we recreate that like modern codes? I mean, so I know there's this like Appalachian in North Carolina. We can build certain ways in the traditional way, or certain houses we can build in the traditional methods, but there's certain things we have to do. Is it possible to have a rock foundation in 2025 to build?
No, not really. But what you can do is you can lay your block
and then
put dry stacked stones in front of it that you glue to it.
Yeah.
That's basically what you're doing is just gluing.
Right.
You put your lathing on, you stucco it. And there used to be some great rock masons around here that could do that work. And most of them's already gone on.
Yeah.
I mean, synthetic stone took over.
Yeah, 20 years ago or so. Yeah.
You
All
know,
right.
We was talking about Mass Valley Crucis School.
Mm-hmm. I
got to meet Mr. Drone that started helping laying that rock when he was 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And I would like to watch a mason do that mud joint that they have in that rock.
Yeah.
But I've seen new construction where they've done rock, and the rock in 10 years is already starting to crack, fall off.
I know.
Think about how long that school's been there.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. Well, just that use of stone in general, right? Chimneys and things like that. Like it's cool. It's a lost art for sure.
Well, the building codes addresses standard construction, okay? Like talking about a fireplace.
Right.
You have to pour its own individual footer. So if the house ever catches on fire, the fireplace will never fall and hurt anybody.
Right.
Well, think about all these old fireplaces that's standing on the side of the road.
That's still standing.
It's standing. I seen one the other day. I said, I've been driving by here all these years, and I've not even seen that fireplace standing.
Yeah. It's crazy. They do. Yeah. And it's sign of the old times, right?
Yes, it was. But they took the time to put the rock in it
right.
and try to fit it.
Especially when you think about it, a lot of those houses were built so that the chimneys could be jerked down in the event of a fire. You get a bad enough chimney fire. A lot of those traditional log homes and things are built so that when that chimney caught on fire, if it was going to infect and burn the rest of the structure, you could tear that chimney down and pull it over, knock it off.
Well, if you could get to it, some old ones you could.
There was a lot of that were designed for that reason, but yet they're still standing.
And,
well, that brings up too, right? Just that timber and log construction. We think of these days like we're really pushing towards that rustic look. A lot of places, we've spent the last last couple of months talking about various joists and floor joists and ceiling, stuff like that, roof joist, and so a lot of that ties back to that traditional timber and log construction methods. We've had log homes from forever.
Well, for y'all going to the Valley Country Fair, if you go in the Apple Barn, that is definitely old technology that is still standing.
Yeah.
Kingpin trusses with the metal rods that's holding the building together.
That's so cool. Yep.
And I still, to this day, when I go in, I still want to look at it because everything was cut with a handsaw.
Yeah.
And they use chisels to form the notches and stuff like that.
That's the coolest. So, okay, a strong built log house is really fairly energy efficient, though. Would you say that? Would you agree or disagree on that?
Well, a modern log home?
No, I just mean just a traditionally built, strong, like properly built, log home that was properly chinked is relatively energy efficient.
Yes, it is. I'd have to agree with that because, the building materials was a little different, but most of your chinking seed was done with hog hair.
Yeah.
And mortar or mud. But the thing about it is, a lot of that stuff, they put something in between it as an insulation.
Right.
And as long as that chinking is still there, it's stopping air from coming in.
Well, and that's my thing is a lot of these log homes, the inefficiency is coming from the ceiling, the roof.
Correct.
Right. I mean, because a lot of times that's just 1 inch lumber. That's
Well, the gentleman that taught me how to chink with mortar, we actually went back in his log house and cut windows and put in it for him because the house was too hot.
That's awesome.
So they wanted to get a cross breeze.
That's awesome.
And but we used the National Historic Registry chinking, which was burnt lime,
Okay.
sand, and mortar. And so we got it. What we did was mixture we mixed it with peck buckets, so the color matched about as good as we could get it on every one.
That's great. That's so cool. That's so cool. Well, in traditional chinking, I mean, it's still standing in several homes. Like if done, if mixed correctly, it'll last.
Correct. And I'd rather have the mortar chinking than the synthetic chinking.
Right. Doesn't move and crack the same.
No, it doesn't. I mean, now you have to add an extra step. You have to put lathing to it.
Yeah.
But we were able to do that. We cut the lathing, stacked it up, and cut it with a skill saw, and then we took our staple gun and shot it in. So as we shot it in, we stretched the lathing.
That's cool.
And we used blue board behind it.
Blue board, yep, to give it a little more insulation.
Yeah, so we was able to put 2 half-inch pieces on the inside and outside.
So you got an inch thick blue board, and then that's not counting the
mortar.
The mortar itself,
Yep.
which wouldn't have any R value, but it does have
Just stops air from
air
coming in.
grips. Yeah. What do you call that? Value, whatever that's called. I'm drawing a blank.
Well, that's the way it goes.
Yeah. All right. So, another traditional thing that and this one really got pushed, especially in the turn of the century, 2000s, when we really started seeing that push for that green building. But we still see it, and I'm still a fan of it, and that's local materials. Builders using what they had, with chestnut trees. We're a big fan of chestnut trees, but chestnut trees was the number one material here in the mountains.
Yes, it was. They've been
houses?
posting that picture of that one chestnut tree on Facebook. It looks like it's 8 foot across.
Yeah. I mean, chestnut trees built every house and barn there was, just about.
Yeah. Well, think of this. The good pieces of chestnut went into framing.
Yeah.
The worst of the chestnut went into sheeting of your house, because if you get in these old houses, you'll see a board that's got a big check in it.
Yeah.
But it's still nailed on.
Still nailed tight, and still takes a chainsaw to cut it open because it's hard and tough.
And well, I don't know if you've ever seen them or not, but have you ever been in a house that the only thing there was a floor system, 2 boards on the outside?
Yes.
Then you have the band on the upstairs that holds your rafters on.
Yeah.
And that was a common practice here in the mountains, and the only thing there was felt paper in between the 2 things or two layers of boards. And there's actually a house in Matney that is actually a 2-story house that's been redone, and the whole house was built like that.
That's cool.
And it's probably around 1,500 square foot.
That's cool. That's cool. But keeping to that traditional building, like that's still a popular design, architecture design today, and that's lots of sort of that natural material, the river rocks. Again, we today we face things with it, foundations and chimneys and stuff, but that look is still sticking around today, and people love reclaimed lumber, remilled and reclaimed lumber. So that's still an aesthetic thing that we kind of tie back to these days. So pretty cool stuff. We'll take another break, check in with the Valley Country Fair. We'll come right back right after this. Thanks for listening to us.
Are you looking for a sawmill dealership that can provide you with the quality equipment you need to get the job done? Look no further than Blue Ridge Sawmills. We offer the full line of Hudson sawmills and sawmilling equipment, from portable sawmills to skidding winches. At Blue Ridge Sawmills, we understand that every project is different, which is why we offer a wide range of sawmilling services. We can help you from everything from finding the right mill for your farm, hobby, or even your business. We also offer a variety of sawmilling supplies such as blades and debarkers, so you can get everything you need in one place. If you're looking for a sawmill dealership that can provide you with the quality equipment and the service you need, then come to Blue Ridge Sawmills. We're here to help you get the job done. Call or visit our Cana, Virginia store at 276-755-3833 or our Asheboro, North Carolina location at 336-964-8304.
All about home construction here on WATA. Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for listening to the podcast. All about home construction as well. And don't forget Valley Country Fair going on, Woolly Worm Festival going on, Appalachian Homecoming going on, beautiful peak week of leaf season going on, and probably to top the list off, the VFW dinner tonight. Italian dinner.
Oh, and they do have wine.
That's right. Got to have good wine. I'm glad you guys got the wine license. I'm not a wine fan, but I am glad you got the license.
Well, I like wine, but most of my wine used to come out of quart jars.
It's not wine, buddy.
Well, it had color.
That's not wine. All right. Well, we'll circle back to that tradition stuff later on as we talk about traditional building. That's not building. That's just tradition. However, there's a lot of engineering that goes into it.
It is.
But, all right. So how about this one? This one is as we sort of look at some of the traditional building practices that we still use today. This one is a favorite to some of our listeners out there. And that is porches, wide wraparound porches, large porches. People don't sit on the porch like they used to and just sit out there and hang out, but we have definitely turned our porches back into this outdoor living space.
It is.
And I'm throwing patios in with that living space too. How many times now do we have like these patio fire pits, decks, things like that?
Quite a bit, actually. A big one that people don't think about is when you build your deck, not planning in the future.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you get out there, just like you said, you got your grill out there, you got your patio furniture, and then all of a sudden, wow, I want to put a hot tub out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then that way you can enjoy your fire pit going on, cooking.
See, now you're talking my language, man.
Yeah, but the only problem is that deck's got to be engineered for that hot tub.
I agree. Yeah. That's a big thing, That's one thing that I'm looking forward to in the next 15 years is I would love to have that outdoor living space with, a porch, a deck, whatever you want to call it, whichever it is. I guess really the difference is the overhang or not, right? Like, does it have a roof or not?
Correct.
Patio
would be masonry.
Masonry, typically, yeah. But just having that outdoor space, I would love to have a little TV set up out there and be able to set up on the hot tub, especially these nights like this where it's still warm and then it starts to get cool. You sit out in the hot tub, watch the football game.
Yeah.
And then have the fire pit going in the summertime. You got a grill. Going back to traditional building, I want a little smoker out there, a little,
Yep, Terry needs a big deck.
A little, I do. Maybe, just to kind of keep it fun, a little pizza oven out there. Maybe I just need to live outside, it sounds like, yeah.
Wow.
To me, though, that outdoor living space is, I don't know. I'm just one of those people that really love outdoors. But it all stems back to, right? It was a necessity back in the day to have these wide porches, these large porches. And, one of the traditional Appalachian buildings things that we don't see anymore, but that ties into the outdoor living is how many times have you seen these, traditional houses where it's essentially two houses with a breezeway, the open breezeway in between, sort of acted as this outdoor living space that connected these two houses. You know, we see the tiny houses today where it's like we have tiny house and then we have this covered porch into another tiny house. Well, that's been done for centuries.
Yes, it has. And, you know, another thing about covered porches, that actually helps cool your house.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
You know, from the sun. You know, we've got into the energy efficiency stuff where we're wanting to point our houses to the south. So we capture that.
Well, right. Building to that climate. Yeah, that passive solar.
Which, that's not hard to do. My addition on my house is passive solar. There is no heat in it.
Yeah.
And my house is about 1,400 square foot, and believe it or not, we heat it with one little gas heater, like what we got at the VFW.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
And this is a 64 model house. Mm-hmm. So it actually, in my bedroom, is the way I like to sleep, cool.
Yeah, cool.
And because the R value in the house is probably R5.
Yeah. Well, when you get that natural sun, even in especially in the wintertime, these cool days, when you get that natural sun, you open up those shades in the windows and let that sun heat up, and it'll heat a house. It'll keep a house comfortable.
Well, let me rephrase that. I do have a wood stove in the basement.
Yeah, I love a wood stove.
But due to the construction for the time period, it has the boards cut on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
And they have a gap in them, and it is a brick house. So actually, most of my heat goes up, gets on those boards, and travels to the outside walls.
So it goes out. It doesn't go up.
So the floors stay warm, but it does not get in the rest of the house.
Well, why don't you cut some kind of vent?
I'm going to put a vent in it this year.
You've been saying that for 10 years, Randy.
12
years.
But I found me one on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's got a
thermostat in it?
Got a thermostat in it, and it's a low voltage.
Yeah.
So it's a DC
It's
fan.
essentially a computer fan a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is, like I was telling my wife, when you go through this house, she's going, look at all these lights on at night. Mm-hmm. They're all DC power lights. And yes, it takes a lot of DC lights to add up to 1 watt.
Yeah. Randy's just got a bunch of Christmas lights up.
No, it ain't Christmas lights. But, you got the rhombus, got 2 blue lights on it.
Mm-hmm.
Your TV, when it's off's got a red light.
Randy leaves his Christmas lights up all year and tries to justify it, guys. That's pretty much where we're going with this show. But all right. But you're right. Paying attention to that sun, that passive solar, but also the wind, right? Like smaller windows on the northern side. Maybe you debate and change the siding. So, like, for instance, going back to that aesthetics, right? Maybe you don't put the rock siding on the northern side. Things like that, where you
because it works both ways.
Right.
The south side's going to gather the heat. The northern side's going to lose the heat.
When you're talking to an architect or someone designing a house, the location matters, right? Like if we're on top of the mountain, right? How many times have we talked about building on, for instance, Beach Mountain? You have to think about how you design that house based on the wind and the weather coming in too.
Well, especially on beach.
Yeah.
Now,
but like I'm just using that as an example as the higher. But even on lower sections, right? Like even in the town of Boone, you may want to kind of orient your house differently or build it differently based on what the wind's going to hit.
You actually might not be able to in the town of Boone.
Well, the town's restrictive,
because your setbacks on your property.
Yeah. But I guess my point being is like you want, if you live on the top of the ridge, you're probably not going to have a big, wide open modern house with flat roof. Like you're probably going to want to have gable roofs and or you're going to look at metal roofing and things like that. In other words, you're going to build the house to adapt to that climate.
Yes, you are. I don't know if it's still in the code books or not, but I hadn't checked in a while. But, used to be on Beach Mountain, the overhangs was 4 foot.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big sail.
Exactly.
So at one time in the code books, you couldn't build on Beach Mountain with an overhang more than 12 inches.
Yeah. And and that's kind of the thing is you're building towards that climate. So, all right, we're going to take another break, check in with the country fair, and we'll be right back.
Calling all hungry heroes. It's time to fuel up for the day at the VFW's all-you-can-eat breakfast. That's right. Every first Saturday of the month from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., you can enjoy a heaping helping of crispy bacon, juicy sausage, perfectly cooked eggs, golden hash browns, biscuits and gravy, and so much more, only for $15. Whether you're a veteran, a family member, or just a friend of the VFW, you're welcome to join us for this delicious tradition. Come share stories, laughter, and good company while you fill your plate with all your breakfast favorites. Don't miss out on the VFW's all-you-can-eat breakfast every first Saturday of the month from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. See you there.
That's right. All About Home Construction here on WATA. Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for the podcast, All About Home Construction. Share it with some friends. We beg of you. We want to keep up our high ratings. So thank you so much. And, and Randy, we got people out there that like to be sponsors of the show too and listen to it. So when you listen to the podcast version, there's information there at the end. We'd love to hear you as a sponsor.
Yes, we would.
So we appreciate that.
We'd just love to hear y'all listening to it.
That's what we like. We get all sorts of emails, allabouthomeconstruction@gmail.com for those emails. The Facebook page, the inbox there goes crazy sometimes. And
I think we got a big following in Oklahoma.
Nice.
And
nice.
I really have to give Troy a big shout out for that because he says, Papa, I listen to it all the time now.
Love it.
And,
well, good morning, Troy, or afternoon when the time he listens to it.
And then he said, I got friends listening to it. So, we try real hard.
Hey. Well, maybe next time we can start talking, instead of Appalachian building, we'll talk about Oklahoma traditional building because, things like Adobe, so I was, people know I teach fifth grade. And one of the things we were doing this last week is we're talking about reading a book, and it was talking about the Aztec and the Mayans and stuff and the Incas. And in that book, it was talking about how the Aztecs in particular were building with Adobe, right? I mean, which is, when you look at it, like, we don't call it Adobe. Well, I mean, we still call it Adobe some places, but we don't call it Adobe, but yet we still have plastered walls like that.
Yep.
We still have what we call stucco, is essentially the Adobe they were talking about, where you mix this up and you put it on the outside of the blocks, which their blocks were made out of clay, very similar to modern brick.
Yep.
I mean, it's
they're just air dried out there.
I mean, that's the thing.
Well,
like,
it
just,
wouldn't work here with the moisture.
Right. But still, it's not that far off technology wise from what we do when we do talking about ICFs, right? Like, it's not that different. It's still using the earth materials. It's still using the blocks to build this energy efficient house, which is what they were doing hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago,
to protect them.
Yeah, and it's just to me it's just fascinating when you see how, again, the more things change, the more they stay the same, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just cool stuff, and we just the way we build, and this goes, back traditional 1,000 years ago, like we're saying, in the the Southwest, the same as it was here in the Appalachians, where your doorways, you plan that out, and so you've got, how many times have you been to an old house where it feels like you're going to hit your head when you walk in?
Well, that's because the height of the people during the time.
Well, that's part of it, but Abraham Lincoln was 6 foot tall. A lot of that is the small doors are to keep the heat in.
Yeah.
I mean, look at an Eskimo, right? The go and look at where the Eskimo lives in an igloo. That design is to have that doorway so that all the warm air stays at the top and doesn't rush out the door when you open the door.
Correct.
And these old log houses that you see in museums and places like that today is built the same way. It's so that heat in the wintertime, when you got the stove, the fire going,
that absorbs it.
It doesn't go out the door when you open the door. And yeah.
Talking about houses and stuff, there's been a lot of trees that they've been showing on Facebook, big trees out west that were cut down that were made into houses.
Yeah.
Where they went and hollowed them out.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
And the chimneys are hung on the outside, made out of mud and stone.
That's so cool.
And so the stumps are so big that the ground temperature is what keeps you warm.
Love it. Yep. Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah. All right. So the last thing I want to hit on before we leave, and that is the craftsmanship and longevity. Traditionally buildings were meant to last generations. People paid attention to their joineries and their,
they took pride in their
work. And I think that's the one thing. Like our houses will stand. They're built to stand to last now. But I would love to see that craft revival come back and just really start to push. But I mean, houses are built to last today, so that part I guess remains the same, right?
Yep. Well, we say they're gonna last. They estimate 60 years.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them a lot older than 60 years.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, and it's fun stuff. So, just the craftsmanship, though, it's not there. But it's also because we don't have the craftsmen. We don't have the actual crafts. We have laborers, which we're short of anyway. But I think that craftsman thing hopefully we're starting to see a push back towards it. I feel like we are.
It would be nice.
I feel like there's some that's trying. Let me put it that way.
Well, I think society has become, the rule of thumb is buy your house, keep it 5 years, sell it.
Yeah.
And in my business, we've built a lot of stuff, and most people do within 5 years sell. But the next people that buy it, they remodel it. So it's continuously being upgraded over the years, and I believe that's truly what makes them last a lot longer.
Because you're constantly at or repairing, fixing.
Correct. And because I took Greg and Ash when my mom was still alive, and we went down and worked on her house.
That's right, yeah.
To the first house that I'd built for Lou Ellen Lewis down there when I was 21 years old.
That's cool.
And you know how many times Calabash gets nailed from hurricanes or major storms.
Right.
And it's still there.
Still hanging up tight.
Yeah.
Love it. So.
And also there's still the old houses down there that sits on stone.
That's so cool.
Actually, probably not stone. What they're sitting on is concrete piers.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's cool stuff, and it's again going back to traditional. It wasn't that long ago. We had dirt floors, but we still do a lot of slab on grade in other parts of the country today. Again, just taking what works and making it new, using new technologies and materials, but keeping that what works. Because if it doesn't work, why get rid of it?
To give you an idea, we built that house for the vet in Burke County.
Mm-hmm.
While I was down there, Chuck took me to his birthplace house.
Nice.
And it was a 2-story log cabin, and the bottom of it still had a wood floor. Where so cool. He said, I lived in that house till I joined the Marines.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. Lots of old houses still standing. I mean, it's 160-year-old houses. Well, it's not that common, but it's not uncommon.
I blame it on two things. The rock, the rock's not going to break down.
Right.
The timber had a greater grain to it.
100%.
Straighter grain. The density was better. Mm-hmm. And that really stabilizes a house and growth.
That does.
A lot of times it was oak, hemlock, stuff like that for your framing. Poplar. Because everybody knows if you drive a nail in poplar and it's green, when it dries, you'll never get it back out.
Never do it, yeah. Poplar is one of my favorite woods. It doesn't get the credit it deserves, I think.
Yeah, it's a great the grain on it is great for trim today.
Well, that's why people don't. That's why people think of it as a cheap wood, because it's so multi-purpose. But
it is.
I'm telling you, man, you get a 2x4 out of a real true 2x4 out of poplar that dries. Can't get any better than that. I like working with poplar.
I like all woods.
Most woods.
Yeah.
Don't give me hickory and ask me to straighten it, but I love working with it to thin.
Purdy cabinet's out of hickory.
Yeah.
You know what's even worse is beech.
Beech is a bad one too. Yeah. But anyway, all right, enough about that. Thanks for listening to us. Don't forget to go by the VFW tonight and get some pizza and Italian dinner, some pasta. And tell them we said hello.
Yeah.
Well, Randy,
and be careful on your travels out here with this traffic today.
Enjoy it, embrace it, enjoy it. Take some deep breaths, use some turn signals, and
that's a fact.
All right, well, Randy, we'll talk to you next time. Stay busy, stay warm, and enjoy your week, buddy. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to All About Home Construction. We air every week on Saturday mornings on WATA in Boone. Please like this podcast, comment, share it. Hey, let everybody know where you found it. Thanks for listening.